First of all, local-wise, Cole Croston got some playing time at both left tackle and right tackle in the spring game. Can you talk about his progress, his weight gain, muscle building, and that?
Yeah, Cole's really done a good job. I'm interviewing our players right now. I coincidentally interviewed him this morning, but delightful guy. He's got a really good football aptitude and instinct out there. He's a good technique player, and basically he's just got to grow and get a little bit stronger. But he's really done a good job for us. He is versatile, can go left and right, and we're just really eager to see how things go for him in the next couple of years.
Is he really the only swing man that you have on the offensive line between left and right?
We're moving a couple guys around, but you have to be careful about doing that. And some guys really struggle with that, especially younger guys. But that's never seemed to be an issue for him. He's done it in practice. Really pretty adeptly. So some guys are a little bit better than that than others.
People follow spring practice quite a bit and try to probably take more away from it than what it's worth. Is it more than rust prevention, or are any real big decisions ever made in spring?
Well, I think it's critical time, actually. And, we have a little period right before we really get it ready for our bowl opponents. The first couple of weeks of spring, or December, we kind of have a spring ball approach, if you will. It's a chance to watch the younger players that maybe you don't get to look at quite as closely during the season. And then spring ball to me is all about that. You have a lot of different levels. Obviously, the veteran guys are working at one level, but guys that have not played very much, or sometimes haven't really played our offense or defense much at all, it's a great chance for them to learn. So it's really a good chance to evaluate the whole football team, but there are a lot of different levels, and the idea is to move the younger guys, more inexperienced guys, up to the level of the guys that have played.
Can you talk about the departure of Eric Johnson, your recruiting coordinator? Big loss, obviously. That's not something somebody can just step into and sort of pick up the pieces. You need somebody dedicated to that, correct?
Yeah, we really do. Eric did a great job, and Eric came here. He was on the original staff, came up. Norm Parker recommended him. Started out as a grad assistant and has really served a lot of different roles for us, but done a wonderful job in all those roles. So, number one, I'm very appreciative of all that he's done, and he's done a lot as a recruiter, as a coach, and as a mentor to the players. And then, in the short term, we made sure we had the areas covered thoroughly, which we started spring recruiting right after the spring game. So I think we've got our bases covered there, and now I think the biggest thing is just to move at a smart pace where we can really be thorough and talk about what exactly we're looking for, and then come up with the right candidate. But I'm really confident we'll have a couple great candidates emerge, and we just have to try to pick the guy that fits the program the best.
Obviously, wholesale replacement at linebacker this year, but Quentin Alston has been under the tutelage of James Morris. It sounds like middle linebacker's pretty well set, frankly.
I think it is. Quentin is going into his fourth year, and he really did a good job last year. And this happens sometimes. He got positioned beyond a very good player. So with all of our guys staying healthy, it really didn't leave an opportunity open for him. But he practiced like a starter. And then I thought this spring, he really handled himself like a starter too. So that one's pretty solid.
You talked a little bit at the springtime, and I think Coach Davis did as well, about alternating some packages with Jake Rudock and C.J. Beathard. Is that something that you've never seen you do that before?
CJ continues to improve, and but that being said, Jake has really improved also, and I think both those guys took the experience they got last year and made it work for them. So it's a healthy situation. Anytime you have a couple guys that you feel good about, you'd like to get them in the game. It's a little trickier with quarterbacks, so that'll be a good discussion point for us in June when everybody gets done recruiting. But we'll find some formula to, we did it with Brad Banks a little bit back in 2000. But I think, there might be some advantages if we have a good plan, good strategy on it.
And then wide receiver, Cavante Martin-Manley, obviously the veteran there, but Derek really stepped up during the spring practice, at least from the public ones that everybody saw.
Yeah, if you think a year ago, Cavante is really the only guy that had any experience. Jake Hillier's done a good job, and then certainly Devon Smith, I think, grew a lot last year. So that gives us a good core group. Derek Willies did have a good spring. That was his best day. I can assure you that was his best day, but that's good. You're looking for improvement, and he made some real wow catches just about every day during the spring, but then he'd had some, hard to accept drops also, but I thought his concentration improved. He's more confident now, and realistically, I could see him being a really good player for us here. Hopefully next year he can help us out, and he's got a great attitude, works hard. So it's all very positive on his front.
Now, can you talk about the Raider package? People liked that a lot last year. It was something that just sort of appeared. Had it been something that you'd worked on for a while and finally decided to pull the trigger?
It's kind of one of those ones we just pulled out of the mothballs. We used to fool around with it back in the mid-2000s, and a lot of it's personnel driven. So we had a really good supply of linebackers last year. We'll keep an open mind towards that, or our nickel packages, but it's basically what fits our personnel the best, and we're still assessing that. But it's hopefully just one more way maybe of giving us a good way of getting off the field on third down.
Thanks, Kirk.
Okay.